Hey guys, how's it going? So this is frustrating. I actually totally just did this and somehow managed to not record. I don't know. I swear I was recording. Well, whatever. So to get started here, in this lab, we're going to be doing a Wireshark lab where we're going to examine HTTP and HTTPS traffic and the difference between the two. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up a VirtualBox and you're going to find your VM. Mine's right here, and I'm going to click Start. Okay. As our VM boots up, let's look at the resources we need. All we need is our VM. We need an internet connection. If you didn't save your state and you're going to be logging in, you want to make sure you log in as an analyst and use the password Cyberops. That login menu can be a little tricky. You might accidentally log in not as an analyst. You want to be logged in as an analyst, okay? So once this pops up, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up a terminal, okay? And I actually am going to delete my files because, like I said, I did this already, and I guess I didn't record it. I don't know. So, yep, you can see I have my two files right there. What is the password for this? Cyberops. Okay. Okay, there they're gone. So now we can get started, okay? We're going to open up a terminal and we're going to say IP address. Now, I'll do that because it's asking us to, but I have a better command for you, okay? List the interfaces and their IP addresses displayed in the IP address output, okay? So here we can see our interfaces, okay? We have this one, which is the loopback, and we have ENP0S3, which is the one that we're going to be using, okay? Also, too, if you ever need to know your IP address, here we needed to, it wanted to show us the interface, right? But you can also just say, and that's a little bit of a cleaner output if you just need your IP address, okay? Next up, we're going to do a TCP dump, okay? Now, before that, I'm actually going to grab root privileges by saying sudo su. And then that way, we don't have to continue to type in our password. If you do that, it may ask you to put in your password one time. For me, it just lets me put it in without entering the password. And then I don't have to enter it anytime throughout the rest of the lab. And you don't have to keep typing sudo either, okay? So the command we're going to use on this interface right here to capture the traffic is we're going to say TCP dump I, which stands for interface, ENP0S3, right? Is that correct? Yep. And then we're going to say S0 W. And then this is going to be the output of the file name is going to be http dump.pcap, okay? And it's going to save it to that file. So now we can see it says TCP dump listening on ENP0S3, which is this interface, okay? This command starts and records network traffic on said interface. The I command option allows you to specify the interface. S command option specifies the length of the snapshot for each packet. And the W command option is used to write the result to the output file, like we said, which we called http dump.pcap, okay? And that's the type of file that you need for a Wireshark. So next, we're going to open up our browser, okay? And we're going to go to alteromutual.com/login.jsp. And you can see right up here at the top, right, that the connection is not secure, okay? That's because HTTPS is not enabled, only HTTP is. A lot of modern browsers will also stop you when you go to an HTTP page. They won't let it load automatically, and they'll warn you that your data is not being encrypted, okay? This one didn't, but a lot of times they do. Even if they don't, you can always see up there at the top that that little lock has the slash through it like that. I think it looks the same on most browsers too, or very similar if not. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to log in and then close the browser, okay? And we're just doing this because we want to capture the traffic. Okay, so we logged in, and then that's it. It just wants us to close the browser afterwards, okay? And then we can go down here and we can click Control-C to stop our capture, okay? Now, the next thing it wants us to do is go to the file manager and find the file. A little shortcut that you can do instead of doing that, instead of finding the file in the file manager and then opening it up in Wireshark, because you can just say Wireshark, and we can say HTTP. Geez, what is it called? So we're gonna say Wireshark HTTP dump dot pcat, and then that's gonna open Wireshark for us with that file. Okay. Next, it's gonna want us to apply an HTTP filter and then find our login. Okay, so next we're gonna be finding the login, right? Go down here to the bottom. Right here you can see login post request. Okay, and you can see right there, here's all the information on the page. And then right down here in plain text, you can see the user ID, admin, password, admin, right in plain text. All right. Next up, we're going to capture HTTPS traffic. So we can close Wireshark for now. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing again, right? So we can go down here. We can just press up again. Press it a couple times until it brings back up a command. And it'll say, TCP dump I, we're going to capture on the same interface, okay? The only thing we're going to change is we're going to change the name of our file to HTTPS, right? And then we can press enter again, okay? So now that we're listening, we're going to open the browser back up. And now this time we're going to be going to Netacad. Okay? I'm going to go to login. I'm going to turn off my display for a second. You're just going to use your regular login. Don't worry, when you look at it in Packet Tracer, Wireshark, you won't actually be able to see the password like you were with the banking login one, okay? So then once we're logged in here and the page loads, okay, we can close this. All right. And then we're going to go back down here again and we're going to say Control-C. And we can see that our second file was added, HTTPS dump.pcat. So now we can say Wireshark HTTPS. Okay, and now this one loads. Okay, now this one's going to be a lot different. Okay, so to filter for the HTTPS traffic, this is a much larger file too. We are going to go, let's see here. Catch up on the page down here. We're going to say TCP.port equals 443. All right. And then it wants us to browse through the HTTPS messages and select an application data message. Okay. Let's go down a little bit. Here's an application data message. Okay. And now we can see that on the bottom, what is replaced, right? So we can see on the bottom here, right? Instead of like the plain text that we had for HTTP, instead we have transport layer security, right? Right here, you can see encrypted application data, okay? And you can see right here, it asks us, is the application data in plain text or readable format? No, it's completely different. There's nothing for us to read here. It is all encrypted, okay? So what are the advantages of HTTPS instead of HTTP? Well, the main difference here is that our data is encrypted, right? You can't find or login information with HTTPS. I mean, you can, but you're not going to be able to decipher it, right? Capturing someone's login and password on HTTPS is going to be a little bit more difficult than just cracking open Wireshark. Okay. Now, are all websites that use HTTPS considered trustworthy? And that answer is no, right? All it means is that our data is encrypted, okay? So, like, you can't see it in something like Wireshark, but that doesn't mean that the site is trustworthy, right? For instance, let me go to one of my websites, right? Now you can see that I have HTTPS enabled on my website, and it's verified by Let's Encrypt. I signed that certificate myself. I spun up an Apache server, loaded my website that I wrote onto the Apache server, and then I used a command line tool called certbot. It took about 3 minutes, and I enabled HTTPS on my website. Now I don't have a login or anything for this website, right? So it's like not really even required. There's nothing, that needs to be encrypted. But it still is, enabled. It doesn't mean anything though, right? Like anybody can use HTTPS on their website. As long as you own the domain and you set it up and you spin up the server, you can enable HTTPS, okay? It doesn't mean the site's trustworthy necessarily. It just means that HTTPS is enabled and it's using encryption, all right? So that's the answer to that. All right, guys. See you guys in the next one. I hope you had fun on this lab. Hopefully you guys didn't think I was going too fast. I was a little annoyed that I accidentally forgot to record, so I kind of blew through the second version of it. But I don't know. Hopefully it turned out all right. See you guys in the next one. Have a good week.